Not very long here tonight before this one will be officially underway. A couple of minutes left. The Stallions are lined up in their end zone. East Columbus is lined up in their end zone, and we're hoping for a good game tonight. It has been a tough start. The weather has been a little ugly here in the swamp for the last 3 or 4 hours, but the rain is gone. Been rain free for about an hour, but it's going to be interesting to see. This field is there's no water standing, but the field's going to be a little damp, and it may play into factoring tonight. But this game here takes on South Columbus, 5-2 overall, 3-0 in the conference. East Columbus, 2-5 overall, 0-3 in the conference. Big win for the Stallions last week, as they took a 51-16 win over South Robinson, stopping their 5-game win streak. East Columbus rough road with the Fairmont Golden Tornadoes, but looking to get things started this week. Here comes the Stallions out on the field in their white jerseys, headed over to the far sideline. And here comes the Gators as they've just busted through their banner, and they come over to their sidelines.
Hey, Rod, how you doing tonight?
Good. Kelly Jones has joined me here, and
I have thoroughly enjoyed our setup time today.
well, that's good.
It reminded me of the time we accidentally locked our dog out during a hurricane. And, boy, folks, it rained and it rained and it rained and rained some more here, I guess from about 3:30 until probably close to 6 o'clock. And then the rain stopped, but obviously, traction on the field is going to be a big factor tonight. So should be a good game. We're looking, of course, South Columbus on track really to make a vie for the conference championship. So East Columbus standing in their way. And, of course, I think any coach would tell you, you never take a game for granted.
No.
And this is one that I'm sure South Columbus is not going to take. And, of course, on paper, you would think it would be a game that would be one-sided. But I think we've seen time and time again that's not always the case. So exciting to see what happens here. So East Columbus, 1-3 in the conference, 2-5 overall. And South Columbus, I think you've covered this already, 3-0 and 5-2 overall. So here we go.
So Michael Graham will be doing the kickoff for East Columbus, and South Columbus has back deep. We've got number 4, and the kick is going to be to number 4, fielded there on the 15-yard line. And Souls is
outside,
breaking it to the right, and he's still on his feet at the 50, up to the 40. Down to the 30, one man to go, cuts it inside to the 20, and will be brought down on roughly the 15-yard line. There was a group of Gators come out, but one of them ran him down and caught him all the way down on the 10-yard line. So big run back there to start this one off. That one's close to it's right at well, that one's all the way down to the 6, so close to an 80-yard kickoff on that. So here we go, first and goal for the Stallions. We got Hammond under center. That one will be handed off up the middle to number 7, Rashad Chapman, and he will pick up roughly 4 on the play. So here we go, second and goal from the 2. Stallions are in the huddle, and we will await second down here. So if you're just joining us, big run back there by Khalid Souls, number 4, Khalid Souls. And there's going to be a pitch out to Deshaun Daniels. Deshaun Daniels wide right and in for the score. So quickly on the board, 10 minutes and 28 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. The Stallions will score on their first possession, and it'll be 6-0 here early. And we will see. Looks like they're going to go for 2 right off the bat. So we'll wait to get the sides set here, and they are going to huddle up, and do not see Reggie Frink. And I do see Quinlan Hammonds there. So he will go up under center, and he will pitch it back to number 5, Reggie Frink. Reggie Frink, it will be taken down. So he doesn't even make it back to the line of scrimmage, and he will be brought down, looked like by number 4, Elijah Gresham. So the Stallions waiting to get the ball for their first time tonight. They trail 6-0 early with 10 minutes and 28 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. So big run back if you're just joining us here by Khalil Souls. He takes it back for right at 80 yards, 79 yards, and 2 plays later the Stallions are in for 6. So it's already a fast-paced ball game. And
receiver for the game is number 34, Nick McClure.
okay.
Number 3, Jalen Lewis.
So we're waiting on
Rod, I missed the action there. What was the result of the PAT?
They was pitched out to Reggie Frank, and he was stopped a couple yards in the backfield by Elijah Gresham.
Okay.
So 6-0 early. And we will now get ready to see Samuel Dixon Jr. kick off. East Columbus is going to have back deep number 34, Nick McClure, and number 2, Ryan Howard. And on the other side, number 3, Jalen Dumas. So we'll see which way South goes with the kick, and they're going to go straight down the middle to Nick McClure. And no, it'll go over to Dumas, and Dumas is going to cut to his right, left, and still on his feet as he cuts it back to the middle, brings it back to the 45, to the 50. And he's still on his feet. He breaks the line. He's got one man to beat, number 2, and he will get past him and all the way down to the 9-yard line. So we see a 79-yard kickoff for Khalil Souls for South Columbus, and in that play, right at a 70 to 75-yard by number 3, Jalen Dumas, as he gets it all the way down to the 7-yard line. So big run back there. 2 big special teams plays right off the bat. So East Columbus has first and goal on their own 7.
First and goal for the Gators.
And we will see number 2, Ryan Howard, will take the snap, pitches it to Nick McClure. Nick McClure cuts right, then cuts back, and takes it all the way down to the 3-yard line. So that'll be a gain of 4, and we'll have second and goal here from the 3. So this is the first time, Kelly, we're getting to see Ryan Howard. I don't know if that was just a little wildcat or if Ryan Howard has taken over as quarterback. The last time we saw East, it was Cecil Chandler. Chandler Cecil. So let's look here and see here. No, Ryan Howard is still in. Number 3, Jalen Dumas, is beside him, and Nick McClure still in the backfield. And Howard's going to keep it himself. He's going to break far.
He is not going to get there. And that's a big play there. It looks like I want to say it's going to be number 8, Wade Floyd, defensive end on that side for the Stallions. What's interesting is if you'll notice, if you're watching at home, how deep the Gators are lining up in the backfield. So third and goal here, and you've got to punch this one in here, Rod.
Yeah, this is a big play right here. So Howard has the play. He's right now once again has Dumas set directly right, McClure right behind him, and number 22, Rodney McGill to his left, and
McClure is going to get stopped on the just right off tackle, and he never got a full head of steam, Rod. He just could not get traction on this field. And so here it's 4th and goal, and I don't know, what do you do? I don't know. This is one of those places where the coaches earn their money because, with South Columbus, they're going to score 30 points. I mean, that's just going to happen tonight. So do you go for the sure 3 from here, or you assume it's a sure 3, or do you try to take a shot at the end zone? Looks like we're going to have a try here. And very interesting, this formation here by East Columbus.
So he's going to back to pass, and he's got a man open, and it is complete.
Touchdown.
Number 4, Elijah Gresham, 5-yard touchdown pass. And we've got a tie ball game here in the Swamp with 7 minutes and 47 seconds remaining. It is 6-6. And we'll wait to see what East Columbus does here. If they're going to line up for 2 or if they're going to go for the extra point to take a 1-point lead. So we will wait to see the lineup. Right now looking, I would say they're going for 2. I still see Howard. I still see Dumas right there in that setup they've been running, and that's what they'll do. The snap's coming to Howard. Howard takes it, pitches it to McClure. McClure goes up the middle.
He's not
and
going to get there.
He will be stopped short.
Yeah, he started outside, turned him inside, and then just so hard to run between the tackles there on the Stallions defense. But, hey, 6-6 here. Right here in the first two possessions, both teams score, and thanks to special teams play.
Yeah, two huge special teams plays, and we've while we got just a little bit of downtime, this is 89.9 FM WZCO. We got off to such a quick start here, and I am Rod Likens, and this is Kelly Jones, and we're bringing you the game. A little shorthanded tonight. Weather has been a huge factor.
Yeah, do we need to go down there and tell the kickoff return teams to cover so we can catch our breath?
Yeah, we may need to. We've got Jonathan Smith, our junior, with us down at Fair Bluff up on the only camera that we've got
so
tonight.
You're going to see just one camera tonight, and we honestly thought this game, I think most of the students thought the game was going to be canceled. So but he's doing a good job up there.
Romeo Roust for the kickoff, and that one's going to be
onside
a little squib kick.
Onside kick, and it did not go 10 yards.
And that
I say it was an onside kick. It was either an onside kick or a really short regular kick. But the result of the play is Stallions 1st and 10 on, well, that's going to be in Gator territory on the 48. So hard to give the Stallions a short field to work with.
Yeah, I don't know if that was intentional, if missed the ball, if
it may have just slipped off the foot there.
Because you are right, you do not want to give South Columbus a short field at any time of the game. So we will see. This time we will see Quinlan Hammond back in the gun. He's going to take the snap. He's going to look out, throw to his right. Quick pass out to number 5, Reggie Frank.
And he hits the corner.
And there he goes. Frank is all the way down.
Frank on the corner, and he is going to get pushed out of bounds. Looks like they're going to mark him inside the 5, Rod. Don't have a. Looks like we're going to actually. Do we have a spot on the 7? Looks like he's being marked on the 7 or the 6, somewhere in there.
Yeah, right about the 6.
Yeah, so just a simple flare pass out of the backfield, and that's the linebacker's responsibility 9 times out of 10, and they can do that all night long if the linebackers let them.
Yeah, so 42-yard pass play. Now we got a handoff up the middle, and that one will be.
That's number 7 there, Rashad Chapman with the easy score.
And he is – I never did see it signaled, though. I know he made it in, but – so quickly now, 7 minutes and 16 seconds here in the first quarter remaining. It is now 12-6, South Columbus over East Columbus. And South is going to go for 2, and that's going to be handed off to Rashad Chapman. And Chapman this time will make it in for 2, and it will now be 14-6, South Columbus. So South Columbus has touched the ball twice. Had 2 big plays each drive.
Literally just about twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have it took 2 plays to score on the first drive, and this drive it took 2 scores. So, honestly, only 4 offensive plays by South Columbus, but a quick 14 points, and East Columbus will now await a kickoff. They're going to use Nick McClure deep. Ryan Howard will be on the close side, and Jalen Dumas will be on the far side, or home and visitors if that one helps. Spread that one out. So here we go. South Columbus has brought special teams on. Samuel Dixon is putting the ball down on the tee at the 40. East Columbus spreading the field. We'll see what South Columbus dials up here as Samuel Dixon gets ready. Here comes the whistle, and it looks like it's going to be an onside. We'll see what he does. And it is going to be a short little kick, and that one's going to be fielded by Elijah Gresham at the 41, and he will step out right there. So East Columbus will have good field position as they start on their own 42-yard line with 1st and 10. So let's see what we've got here. Waiting to see the play brought in. Still looking over to the sideline there as they're waiting to get the play. Ryan Howard has it. Nick McClure is going to be in the deep backfield. Well, this time McClure is going to move up beside Ryan Howard. And Howard takes the snap, hands off to McClure.
It's reversed.
And that one's to Dumas.
He's wide open.
All the way to the 50. Oh, to
Cuts
the
back
40.
inside.
To the 30. He's got 2 on him. To the 20, and they'll bring him down at the 19-yard line.
Yeah,
South Columbus.
Short side reverse. You know, you always see teams reversing to the open side of the field, and this was to the near side. They lined up on the hash, and nobody saw him until he got 20 yards down the field.
Deshaun Daniels and Reggie Frank runs down Jalen Dumas, but not before he can come up with 39 yards on a reverse. So seeing East Columbus pull some tricks out of the bag tonight for some big gains. All right, Howard takes the snap, 1st and 10 on the 19, and he's going to roll to his left, still on his feet, and takes it up to about the 17-yard line. So
Yeah.
that one's going to be good for about 2.
And that's just a quarterback keeper. There's no fake. There's no anything. Just take the ball, get a lead block, and stick it up there. And that's, 3 yards. You know what my coach says in high school, 3 times 4 is at least more than 10. We never got more specific than that, but
It's all keep them moving. If every 3 plays turns into 10 yards, you can keep those chains
that's
moving.
right. And, speaking of which, we're kind of joking around a little bit, but the most important thing for East Columbus to do is to keep South Columbus off the field.
And it is. That's what that's got to be one of their big goals tonight. Snap to Howard, and Howard throws it to Gresham, and that'll get it up to the 15-yard line. Good for another 2, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 6 here.
Yeah, and this is, again, South Columbus almost, you got to think this is a passing down.
Yeah, 3rd and 6 is, that's a big chunk, but we will see what Coach Haney dials up here on 3rd and 6. So waiting on the play to be sent in. And here, still waiting, and it looks like the play has been brought in. McClure sets up left of Howard and waits the snap. And there it is, and that's going to be handed off to McClure off the right side, and McClure on his
gets
feet to
open.
the 10, to the 5.
McClure. He is in for the
Touchdown, Nick
score.
McClure. The Gators answer right off the bat for the second time, and it is now 14-12 with 4 minutes and 55 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. East Columbus now decides whether they're going to go for 1 or 2. And it has been this has been a quick pace game. Not much, and when I say not much offense, there's a lot of offense, but not a lot of plays, and these drives are over. Big, huge plays.
Yeah, I can say there's not a lot of defense on either side
Maybe
right now.
that's a better way to put it.
And one of the things keeping South Columbus kind of guessing is East Columbus is throwing on probably some things they haven't seen on film yet.
So Howard takes the snap. He's going to pass for the 2-point, and
That's
South
knocked
Columbus.
down. Wait. Somebody's got it. Intercepted.
Okay, so that one is referee waved it off of incomplete, but
Okay.
I thought it got picked off. So here we go. 4 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The score is South Columbus 14, East Columbus 12, and there has been no punts, no turnovers. It's just been all offensive scoring.
No tackles. It's been some big plays here early on, and we got a shootout on our hands.
We do.
Here. You're a math guy, so if they keep this pace up, how many points is this? Like 180?
This one could be big time. Yeah, if we could see this pace all night long, we could easily see 2 scores over 100. So defensive coordinators would be having a royal fit.
They
but,
wouldn't get much sleep tonight if that was the case.
So here we go. Wait on the kickoff here. Graham's coming up, and this one is going to be
Deep.
and to the Reggie Frank on the 10. Frank's going to take it to the middle and cut.
He's got some room on the left
and
side.
there he goes,
Here's
35,
Frank.
40, 50, 40.
One man to beat. One
And
man
he's
to beat.
got him
Reggie Frank is off
10,
to the races and pay dirt. Reggie Frank, touchdown.
90-yard touchdown return. Special teams tonight. Wow. Only thing I can say here is wow. That was a 90-yard return, and Frank made that look like that was not much effort. He made about 2 cuts, and he was completely by himself. So 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. South has now jumped up to 20-12 over East Columbus, and they will set up and looks like go for two again. So Hamlin takes the snap, hands that one off to Chapman. Chapman cuts left, then right,
Yes, he is good.
and waiting on a signal. Yes, and it is good. 22-12. 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, and this has been a shootout. So we will await another kickoff and see what East Columbus decides to do here. No, it's just been I'm trying to take a sorry, I am taking a breath here is trying to get caught up, and this has been like run. It's like soccer right now. It's running up and down both ends of the field. So South Columbus comes out. Just curious to see what we will see. So here comes Samuel Dixon's setup. And he will get ready to kick off, and we will see Howard, McClure, Gresham, and Dumas all toward the back. So let's see which way Dixon decides to kick. He's going to kick a line drive. McClure is going to get it at the 16. And here comes McClure. Is it to the 25 and all the way up to the 30-yard line. So
Let's see what East Columbus has up there. We've seen several different offensive formations. One that I've actually never seen before, kind of the wildcat in one, like you've got a tailback behind the quarterback, but you've also got two halfback. Well, it's very interesting.
yeah, so they're mixing it up tonight. 4 minutes and 21 seconds here in the first quarter. The score is 22-12. South Columbus over East Columbus. East has the ball for the third time tonight. And let's see what offense they dial in as Howard will still be in the gun.
Got trips to the far side.
Here comes Dumas in motion, and
He's
that will
gonna
be
get on
handed
jet
off.
sweep.
To
Right on
and
tackle,
breaks
he
it.
gets open.
He's still on his
Gets to
feet.
the second level, and that's working all night long right there.
All the way to the 45-yard
kind of
line.
it's like jet sweep, but it's an inside handoff so that he's actually coming off C-gap, and that's a nice chunk right there.
So 14-yard gain by Jalen Dumas on the sweep, and that'll move those chains, and it's first and 10 already. So
And what's good about that play, too, is that it gives enough time you can pull a lineman on the far side, kick out the end, and you've got a nice little seam there. So East Columbus moving the football really at will against the Stallion defense.
So here we
Trips
go.
to the far side, split right.
Howard that was McClure. That one's going
Right up A-gap, and it's going to be a loss, probably giving forward progress, loss of 1 or 2 on that play.
Let's see where they spot this one. Yeah, they're going to give him progress to the 43, so that will only be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd down and 11 on the 43-yard line of East Columbus.
2nd and 12.
So that's, well, actually it went back to the 42. So we're looking at 2nd and 12 here. 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Ryan Howard is in the gun with Nick McClure directly to his right. Howard looks over the defense. Gets ready. Here comes the snap. McClure takes this one off left side, and he will make it all the way up to the 47-yard line. So that one will be good for 5, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 7 here with 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the first quarter. So that one directly up the middle's not worked, but if they've been able to get just right or just left, they can pick 4 to 5. It seems like fairly easy each attempt. So here we go, 3rd and 7. Now McClure goes out. Terry Brown comes in. Howard takes the snap, drops back. He's going to throws to the right, and almost picked off by number, I think that was 24. It was number 24, Reed Worley. Almost come away with that one. It was intended for Elijah Gresham, but Gresham was not able to catch that after Worley got his hands on it. So 4th and 7 here. East Columbus has the ball on their own 47, and we will see if it looks like they're going for it. So Ryan Howard stays in the gun. Terry Brown to his right.
You got twins left, twins right. And it looks like we're going to have a pooch punt,
We got a
The-
flag on the play.
the Danny White special.
The Danny White. Does that delay a game?
That looks like procedure. Somebody must have moved.
So that takes it back to the 42, brings up 4th and 12. I believe we're going to see Ryan Howard punt here. Maybe not. That's what it looked like was going to happen a minute ago. Well, he's back in the gun, and he's going to.
Yeah, trying to draw on offsides, and now he's going to short formation.
Uh-oh, ball's
ball
loose.
gets away from him, and he falls on it. That's probably
Yeah,
the best
that's
thing you can do in that situation. So that's going to be big time field position for the Stallions.
They give them the ball on the East Columbus 30-yard line
Yep.
on a bad snap that gets past Ryan Howard, and
Yeah.
South will take over.
Every game is a game about field possession, field position, and possession. And you want the ball to be as far away from the goal line when the Stallions get in 30 yards.
Right.
That's really close. That's a tall order for your defense. And that's going to be an inside handoff. Nice little run there. Oh, good job by the defense of East Columbus. But that play was very well designed. Basically, it was a counter with an inside handoff pulling the backside guard, it looked like. And East Columbus looked like they were ready for that
They
one.
were. Reggie Frank ended up with it, but no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 30-yard line of East Columbus. So good defense there. Just about a minute and a half left here in the first quarter.
Yeah. Watch for the flare pass out of the backfield when there's a quick pitch.
Pitch to Deshaun Daniels,
Yeah.
and he's loose.
Yeah, and corner was
He's
not
still
there.
loose
He's
all the way
he looks
around.
like he's getting into the end zone.
And he is. 30-yard touchdown run, Deshaun Daniels, and it is now 28-12, East Columbus trailing South Columbus here in the Swamp. And there's been a lot of points rolling this first quarter. South has touched the ball 4 times and has put the ball in the end zone 4 times. East has touched it 3 times, 2 touchdowns, and then 1 turnover on downs. And they will get their 4th attempt here in just a few seconds. Hammond takes the snap. And fakes the handoff over the middle and incomplete
Yeah, threw it a little bit behind him.
through the hands of number 24, Reed Worley. And it'll remain 28-12 here with still a minute and 16 seconds here in the first quarter.
40 points
40 points.
in 12 minutes. That's almost how many points a minute? It's at least 3.
Yeah, 3 point something.
That's a lot of offense. And again, a lot of it's special teams.
Special teams have been huge
Yeah,
today.
and of course you've got not only the kickoff returns, but you have the fumbled punt snap, which put South Columbus in the position to score there. So, yeah, special teams. We see it on all levels from Pee Wee to pros.
Right.
It's about special teams.
Yeah, if this game was to come to an end right now, you could give the MVP to the South Columbus special teams
Yep.
because they have set up and put together pretty well.
You haven't had
All
to really
4
have a
scores.
sustained drive.
No, I don't think they have. They've not started a single drive on their side of the
Oh,
field,
I think you're right.
and that's a deep kick.
And that's over the head. And
Of
hit on
Nick.
the 5-yard line into the end zone for a touchback, and that's not that common. In
We
high
don't see
school.
that much in high
Nope.
school. So we will see East Columbus start on their own 20 here. 1 minute and 14 seconds left here in the first quarter. 28-12, South Columbus leads East Columbus here in the Swamp at Lake Waccamaw, North Carolina. Week 9, Kelly. We have made it to Week 9 of football
this
season.
week 9?
This is Week 9.
My goodness, where does the time go?
It has flown by. Playoffs are 3 weeks around the corner.
I see we got a tweet saying that basketball starts in 2 weeks. So,
Oh, wow.
yep.
It won't be long. 1st and 10 on their own 20. Howard still in the gun. Takes, hands off to Nick McClure. McClure goes left side. McClure breaks free
McClure's
to the
open.
30 and all the way up to the 34-yard line. 14-yard gain there by Nick McClure and 13. Close. We're getting back in that estimating here tonight. So,
Don't you call that extrapolating, though?
There
That's
we
not
go.
Estimating.
so a big run there by McClure. And off tackle, he has done well tonight. The only couple of struggles he's had is trying to take it straight up the middle.
Yeah, the 2 A gaps I think are kind of off limits because of the size of South Columbus's defensive line. But Yeah, you get him just a little bit of an angle, and he's done well tonight.
So time's ticking down, but East will get off another snap, and that one's going to be handled to McClure. Once again off the left side, and McClure, it'll be good for 2. So he will have – they might still get one more off, but if not, it'll be 2nd down and 8 to start the second quarter. East Columbus will have the ball on their own 35, and just with 20 seconds, I don't believe we'll see a play get off here. They don't really look like they're going to try to squeeze one off here before the clock runs out and we flip sides. So 10 seconds, and this one will come to an end here in the first quarter. And
Rod, are you tired?
I am tired.
Oh,
And
man. Yeah, didn't
so-
get that one off. So 28-12, South Columbus over East Columbus. But let's not forget, East Columbus has moved the ball many times against the Stallion defense, which I think a lot of people would be surprised. So this has not been one-sided by any stretch of the imagination. A few big plays by South Columbus, and, of course, the kickoff returns I think would be the big adjustment East Columbus has to make here, going into the second quarter.
Right, they've got to figure a way around giving South Columbus such a short field after the kickoff. So they're getting ready to switch sides here, and East has the ball on their own 35-yard line, and it'll be 2nd down and 8, and this will be the first play of the second quarter. So 1 is in the books here if you're just joining us. This is 89.9 FM WZCO. And if you're online, www.wzco.org, you can catch play-by-play. We are shorthanded tonight, so we do only have one camera. So it's
But he's working it.
he is working it. Jonathan Smith is keeping up with the action. You'll still be able to see everything. We just won't have the multiple camera shots. And
Got a quick update for you. James Keenan, 8, Lakewood, 0, first quarter.
that one's how is Lakewood this year?
Well, if it's only 8-0 against James Keenan, they must be pretty good.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, they're actually having a pretty good year.
So 35-yard line, East Columbus now getting ready. First play of the second quarter. Howard's still back in the gun. McClure still set up directly to his left. And Howard's going to drop back to throw.
He's got a man open here,
One-on-one coverage to Gresham.
and that's going to get a flag
That
right
should
there.
get a flag. And that did not get a
Okay.
flag.
No, it didn't get a flag. Okay.
Oh, well.
Well,
We're not officials. What do we know?
We're not officials. But I like the call, though.
Mm-hmm.
He let Gresham basically do a jump ball out here. And, you got to come back to that.
Right. Yeah, that was there was a little bit of contact there, but they let it go, and that'll be incomplete. So 3rd down and 8.
And, there's a definite mismatch out here. So I'd go one play and go back to it.
Yeah, definitely like that call. So Howard waits the snap, and there it is. He's going to drop back at the
And
pass
he's
again, and he's going to throw another one, and that one,
Oh,
good defense there.
Yeah.
Number 6, Jeffrey Daniels
Yeah.
comes around and knocks that one away from Jalen Dumas. And we're looking at 4th and 8 here on the 35-yard line.
And I think you're probably going to see a punt again, but I think they're onto something. You got to get one of your best athletes, on the field is Elijah
Mm-hmm.
Gresham. You got to try to give him a chance to catch, some long passes, especially basically a 18-inch advantage.
Let's see here.
It looks
I
like
think that's Frank dropping.
Oh, and
And-
that looked like it slipped out of his hands,
I believe it did.
and that's going to be a negative
Yeah, that ball didn't even.
7-yard punt.
It didn't even make it back to the. It was a yard short of making it back to the line of
Look,
scrimmage.
it came out of his hand funny, almost
I
like
think so.
It slipped, and I'm surprised we haven't seen more of that
Or it
tonight,
slipped off
especially.
his
Yeah.
foot one. I couldn't tell, but it did. There was something that didn't go quite the way it had been planned. But here's what we talked about. You've given South Columbus the ball in the short end of the field, and this can be rough because they have been able to move the ball fairly easily tonight, and I believe we've got a flag as the ball hits the ground. We will wait on the call, and that one will be offsides on East Columbus. So instead of 1st and 10, it'll be 1st and 5. The ball will be on the 29-yard line of East Columbus, and South has it to see if they can. They're getting ready to try to go 5 for 5 here on this drive. And Kelly, most of the times we've seen South Columbus this year, they've been able to sustain or put together their first 4 or 5 possessions. They've been able to put touchdowns on the board, and I think that's been truly one of their big strengths
Yeah, it
this
takes
year.
pressure off your defense. Looks like we got a little bit of rain happening, starting to fall, and I think that's why we're starting to see a little more slippage.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't say enough about a team that gets out of the gate fast. And then once you get out of the gate fast, it opens up all sorts of opportunities for you. You can go after block punts.
Right.
You can take some chances on defense that you normally wouldn't take. So, yeah, just getting out to those big leads. And I think that's one difference that South Columbus, as they've progressed through the season, they've just really played well in the first quarter.
Talking about the rain, I think I'm only halfway dry now. I don't envy those folks out there.
I completely changed clothes. I completely changed clothes because I'm telling you, I was just drenched. And I hope that the weather will clear off for tomorrow because and we'll have something for you, an interview to play at halftime. But the Waccamaw on Powwow is tomorrow. So I hope everyone will go out, and it's rain or shine. Check out the powwow down there in Buckhead off Old Lake Road. And was there today, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a second.
So 2nd and 5, or 1st and 5, and that was a handoff to, I think that was number 7, Rashad Chapman. And that one that'll be good for 5.
Yeah, it's going to be close to a first down. Looks like he's going to be a little short, 2nd and short it'll bring up.
Yeah, that's got to be really, we're at an angle, so it must be 2nd and inches here. 10 minutes and 48 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. South Columbus has the ball, and they lead 28-12 over East Columbus here in Lake Waccamaw. And there's going to be a handoff, and that one's going to Deshaun Daniels. And
he gets first down.
Takes it all the way to the 10-yard line.
Yeah, I think they're going to mark in at the 12. But it's going to be 1st and 10 for Stallions deep in the Gator territory. And, you go in here, it's 35-12, and we talk about it often. There's a big difference between 2 or 3 scores and 3 or 4 scores. So,
yeah, Hammond's up under center, and that one's going to also be handed to Deshaun Daniels. He's going to go left side and cut it back.
Nothing much there. Good job.
There's
there.
not.
Yeah, and linebackers for East Columbus really stiffening there. Looks like number 4, Elijah Gresham, leading the way on that.
So he'll pick up 3 on the play, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 7 from the 9-yard line. They have brought the play into the huddle as they break.
And East Columbus running a 5-man front.
And that one's going to be pitched to Daniels. He's going to go right side, cut it back in, and he's in for a score. 9-yard touchdown run, Deshaun Daniels. And it is now 34-12, South Columbus over East Columbus. 9 minutes and 22 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. We're at Lake Waccamaw, North Carolina, in the swamp. And
literally in the swamp.
It couldn't be any more true tonight.
Euphemism. It's truly the swamp.
Yeah, it's just nasty weather tonight, but football still must be played. That's just a rule. And here we go. Hammonds will take the snap and hand it off to Frank. Frank goes to the far left and walks in for 2. So it is now 36-12. South Columbus over East Columbus with 9 minutes and 22 seconds remaining here in the second quarter.
Got a few updates for you. Hoggard 14, Ashley 0. New Hanover 3, Laney 0. So a few regional scores for you.
No updates on the Whiteville West game yet?
If Franklin, if you and Mark are listening, you need to get on the ball. We need a tweet, please.
Now, if you're listening to us, I'm a little worried about what you're doing over there. But, yeah, waiting to see what's going on in that one. 20 mile down the road at West Columbus. Enter right there that conference rivalry with Whiteville and West. And
and the family rivalry with father and son coaching against each other.
Coach Little versus Coach Little. So Samuel Dixon has the ball down. And we've got, this time Nick McClure is going to go all the way back to his own 5. And Howard and Dumas will be at the next line. So let's see where Dixon, he's going to put a line drive down, and McClure is going to field it at the 20.
And he's got a seam out here.
Gets
a block.
All the way to the
There's
40.
McClure on the corner.
Can he get it turned? Good stiff arm. And just went out of bounds. Khalil Souls come over to and pushes him out, but not before he takes a big stiff arm by McClure at the 41-yard line of South Columbus. So get a 39-yard return on that one. And we've seen some big kickoff returns tonight.
I don't know if we've seen really good kickoff returns or really bad kick defense. I'm still the jury is out because South Columbus completely lost contain on this near side that time, and that just can't happen.
So we are. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Oh, wait a minute.
You can't do that. 2 at a time. No. East Columbus with 3 in the backfield, kind of like a modified T. I'm calling it a. Oh, and
good run there by number 22, Rodney McGill.
Yeah, Rodney McGill. Good run by McGill there. Yeah, it's kind of like a modified T with the quarterback in shotgun.
See if that'll move the chains. It was close to 10, so must be second and very, very short because the ball's on between the 31 and the 32. So we'll call this second and 1, 8 minutes and 21 seconds left here. We're going to see this similar setup. We're going to see McGill and Dumas surrounding Howard there and McClure behind them. So now McGill goes in motion. The snap to Howard, hand off to Dumas. Dumas up the middle, and there's nothing there.
No, too packed in, too tight right there.
He won't even make it back up to the original line of scrimmage, I don't believe.
Number 3, Jalen Dumas on the catch.
That one will be a loss of 1, and it'll be 3rd down and 2. Actually, that'll be a loss of 2. It's going to be 3rd down and 3 from the 34-yard line of South Columbus. 7 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. If you're just tuning in, South has a 36-12 lead over East here at Lake Waccamaw.
I think you got to go back to Gresham.
Yeah, I like that.
Got to go back. I mean, he's basically got a huge height advantage.
So we still see McGill and Dumas. Here comes Dumas in motion. Takes the hike. Oh, pitch back to McClure. And McClure is hitting the backfield and loses momentum, and he'll only get back to the 35, and he'll lose a yard on the play. So big first down run of 9 yards, and 2nd and 3rd keeps moving backwards, and we're looking at now a 4th and 5. So let's see what they're going to go for here on 4th down. Mail, maybe not. Looks over to the sideline. But the way they're set up, because McClure all the way behind, and McGill and Dumas right and left. So Howard looks, and he takes the snap, and he is going to take it himself as he cuts to his left, and there is nowhere to go. And he'll be taken down at the 38. So after a huge first down 9-yard run, the next 3 plays lose 2 yards each time. And East Columbus will turn it over on downs, and South Columbus will start on their own 37-yard line. So I guess he only lost about 1 on that one. But it's the 6th possession of the game for South Columbus. They've touched it 5 times, and they've put it in the end zone 5 times. So let's see what happens here on 6. Is that we will see Hammond rarely in the gun. Hands it off up the middle. I think, it was. Deshaun Daniels gets that one. Gets it on the 37, and he takes it up to the 44. So a gain of 7, and it'll be 2nd down and 3. Stallions has it just under 6 minutes, 5 minutes and 50 seconds here in the second quarter. Stallions have a 36-12 lead over East Columbus here at Lake Waccamaw, North Carolina. So here comes the Stallions back out. Hammond will once again stay back in the gun. Sends Dixon in motion. Hands off to Dixon. Dixon cuts it left, cuts up. Still on his feet at the 50, and he'll take it down to the 45-yard line. All the way over to the 44-yard line. So that one will be good for right at 10, and it'll move the chains. So 1st and 10, Stallions ball. They are now on the East Columbus side of the field. I think that's the first time, Kelly, we've seen them start on their own side of a field in a drive.
I believe you're right.
But they have got it over to the east side, and it'll be 1st and 10 from that 44.
Yeah, you've got twins right to the near side, wing left.
And that one's going to be handed off on a reverse to, looks like, Frink. And Frink is busted loose at the 25, and he will walk it in from there into the end zone for a 44-yard touchdown run on a reverse. And it is now 42-12, South Columbus over East Columbus with 4 minutes and 45 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Thought we might see a personal foul on that. He was hitting the end zone after he had crossed, but I guess
I think it could actually go both ways because there with Frank being so slow to get in, I think that could have gone either way there. But, we're always taught if somebody's being slow, you try to speed them up.
Yeah, that's what they did, and Hammonds hands that one to Deshaun Daniels.
That's
and
in.
Daniels is in. So 44-12 here. 4 minutes and 46 seconds remaining in the second quarter. South Columbus leads East Columbus. South Columbus has touched the ball 6 times tonight, and they have put the ball in the end zone 6 times tonight. And they are getting ready to kick back off to East Columbus for the second quarter here. So week 9 of football season here, high school style, and there is 3 more weeks left in the regular season. Pretty well everybody will be in conference play. Next week, we will make a trip back down to Civitan Stadium and see South Columbus play St. Paul's. And I know we end the season here on November the 8th as we will watch East Columbus and West Columbus kick it off. They've played once in the endowment game, first game of the season, in a lightning-delayed short game where East came out victorious.
And I think, Rod, next week, that South Columbus-St. Paul's game, if St. Paul's wins, they could be basically positioning themselves to possibly tie for the conference championship. So.
High kick by Samuel Dixon, and that's going to be fielded by Dumas there at the 20, and Dumas gets all the way up to the 45-yard line before he's brought down, so a 25-yard run back there. And East Columbus will take over on their own 45. 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. They trail South Columbus by a score of 44-12. So we will wait for the special teams to leave the field, and we will see the offense and defense come back out as everybody's getting set here. Time is running, and I believe we've got a timeout here with just couple of ticks above 4 minutes. I think East Columbus called timeout there to talk this one over.
So we got a timeout here, Rod. I want to talk about today. I was down at the Waccamaw Tribal Grounds for basically what was their powwow school day, and I saw a lot of folks there. Saw a good friend, Ken Buck,
all right,
who's always so helpful to us. Saw him down there, and many principals and over 1,000 school children.
Wow.
Yeah, they actually have a place where the kids can go. They can learn all about the culture of the Waccamaw and storytelling, drumming. It was a great time, and I've got an interview at halftime we're going to play, so had a really good time down there.
So here we go, and that'll be snapped back.
Tripp's right. That's a lateral. Oh, I thought that was a lateral, but it was a.
I think I've heard it whistled.
Yeah, whistled dead. It was really close to a lateral there, but kind of like a little flare out to Nick McClure, and the idea you throw that to the trip side and you've got 3 blockers ready made. The downside to that is if they're in man-to-man, you've got 3 defenders ready made over there too.
So here we go. 2nd down and 10. East Columbus has the ball on their own 45-yard line. Howard back in the gun with McClure directly to his left. Awaits the snap. Gets it, and he's going to drop back to throw.
Got plenty
of time.
He's got time.
And
it is intercepted.
And that will be number, looks like 88, Justin
and
Dudley.
That ball slipped out of his hand. There, the closest Gator was an offensive lineman, so that ball came out a little funny.
And that'll be intercepted at the 40-yard line of East Columbus, and South Columbus is going to take over there for their 7th possession at 4 minutes and 44 seconds here in the second quarter. They lead East Columbus by a score of 44-12. So let's see if we see. We've not really seen maybe one little pass out to the side. That's been about the only passing we've seen from Hammond tonight. So probably will keep it on the ground. And he will take it himself as he rolls to the left.
He's got a little room out here, cuts it back inside. And I think, looking at it from here, he had a lot of room outside. But you, as a defender, especially if you're a corner on that side, you want to try to cut it back inside because that's where your help is.
Right. So he gets it up to the 34-yard line, a gain of 6 on first and 10, and that'll be 2nd and 4 now. We've seen kind of a little bit of a shift. He's gone from the right up under center to the option himself, and he's going to stay in that for this one. He's going to fake a handoff to Daniels, drops back, going to throw one over the middle, and that one is to number 3, Samuel Dixon Jr.
And it's a score.
And that one's good for, Reggie Frank, and that one's good for 6.
Really nice pass and catch there.
34-yard touchdown pass from Quinlan Hammond to number 5, Reggie Frank, and it is now 50-12. South Columbus over East Columbus with 3 minutes and 58 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. And I believe we will see a 2-point conversion attempt. Now this time Hammond will go back up under center. Hands it off to Chapman. Chapman up the middle, and that is good for 2. 52-12. Second quarter here. 3 minutes and 58 seconds remaining before halftime. South Columbus leads East Columbus by a score of 52-12. And we will now await special teams to come back on. As
always
East
an adventure.
Yes, it has been.
Special teams has been really exciting tonight on both sides of the football.
Teams will switch off. And we have only had one ball that was actually kind of punted. And other than that, it's been scores or turnovers, and this game has moved very, very quickly through the first half. So Samuel Dixon sets it up on his own 40. McClure is still way back between the 5 and the 10. And Howard and Dumas become the next line of defense. And let's see where Samuel Dixon Jr. puts this one. Looks right, looks left. Here he comes, and he's going to kick that one down the middle. McClure fields on his own 10, and here comes Nick McClure all the way up to the 25, cuts the corner, cuts back in at the 30, to the 35, still on his feet, dragging 3 South Columbus men all the way up to the 45-yard line. Number 35 and number 63, so he took those guys for Cedric Thomas was one of them. Don't have a name on 35, but drug them guys a couple, about 5 yards. So East Columbus has the ball on their own 44-yard line here. And let's see what this is their
Got a lot of scores here for you in just a second.
So we will see Howard will be back in the gun. McClure to his left, takes it, reverses it to number 3, Jalen Dumas, and that'll be good for 1. He'll get up to the 45-yard line, and it'll be 2nd and 9.
Okay, we talked about Hoggard over Ashley, 14-0 in the first. Whiteville over West Columbus, 14-0, end of 1.
Okay.
Got a few other scores here for you. We'll get to it after this play. And one that's kind of surprising.
Looking at the spot of the ball, that's pretty well. We're going to call that one 2nd down and 10 because it looked like he made it over the line but doesn't look there on the spot. And Howard waits the snap, takes it, going to drop back to throw. Long ball there. There's what you were looking for, Kelly, to Elijah Gresham. And Gresham breaks both of those tackles at the 30 to the 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Elijah Gresham.
Awesome play.
Big pass play. A 56-yard pass play from Ryan Howard to Elijah Gresham. Catches it at the 30. Bounces off one tackle, breaks another tackle, and then runs a beeline straight into the end zone for 6.
Now, do I get any credit for that?
You do. We're going to give you an attaboy for that one
Okay.
because you called that one. You said they needed to do it, and they did it. And it looked good, too. 52-18 here in the Swamp as East Columbus is going to come out and go for 2 with 2 minutes and 47 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. We've seen a There's been a lot of points put on the board. And here we go. Howard goes out, and that one's going to be to Gresham, but through his hands, and that'll be no good. Gresham lost his footing, still got his hands on it, but it went right through. That ball must be getting slick.
So with 6:24 left to go, and this was the surprising score, East Bladen over Trask only 14-6, closing out the first half. St. Paul's over South Robinson 14-8. I'm assuming that's somewhere in the first half. And Fairmont 22, Red Springs High School 0. And of course, we gave you that earlier score, 14-0. We have Whiteville over West Columbus, end of 1.
End of 1. So here we go. East Columbus will kick off to South Columbus. This will be the Stallions' 8th possession of the game. They are 7 for 7 for touchdowns here in the first half.
Update for you, Whiteville 28, West Columbus 0. 5 minutes left in the half.
So we're 20 miles down the road. Battle of the counties, and Whiteville is leading that one. All right, so East Columbus, here comes Michael Graham. Tees it up, and he's going to squib kick this one, and it's going to go out of bounds at the 31-yard line. And that'll give the ball to the Stallions at the 35-yard line. I'm not sure that's such a bad play.
No, I say based on Reggie Frank's performance in the first half, that might be something you want to think about doing every time.
Yeah, that's because that may be the farthest back that they've started all night. I know this is only the second time that I can recall that they've actually started on their own side, so yeah, that may not be that bad of a play. So here we go, 1st and 10. South Columbus has the ball back on offense on their own 35. Hammond in the gun, fakes a handoff to Daniels, rolls to his left, throws a big deep ball, and that one is just over the head of Khalil Souls. And it'll be incomplete, 2nd and 10.
He had him. He had him down the left sideline and just a little bit overthrown there by
it was close.
Hammond, yeah. He had 3 or 4 steps on the nearest
He
defender.
did. Yep, that was real close. Just 2 more steps, and that one would have probably been 6.
Yeah, the problem is that corner has that responsibility in this particular coverage. So now you've got him loosened up thinking about, that deep threat. And so it's loosened up, and, you can run around that end a lot easier when that happens. So
Hammond stays back in the gun, takes the snap, hands the reverse off to Frank, and East Columbus is having none of that.
Yep, stuffed it in the backfield. So that's going to be, see where it looks like a 3-yard loss on the play.
I think they're going to give him 2. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 12. So East Columbus, 2 big, catches a break on a pass play, and then good defense on that play. So 3rd down and 12 here. Now that Hammond goes back up under center, takes the snap, pitches it back to Deshaun Daniels.
He's got a seam.
Daniels is all the way to the 45-yard line before he goes out, and that should be enough to move the chains. Let's see where the official spot is. And, yes, the referee signals 1st down, and it is – and he made all the way to the 46-yard line, and that'll be good for – that one was good for 13, and they needed 12. 1st and 10.
New Hanover leads Laney 10-0 second quarter. James Keenan 15, Lakewood 0 at the half. West Brunswick over Topsail 6-0.
Hand off to Frank. Frank is loose, and he goes out of bounds at the 38-yard line of East Columbus.
Yeah, you got to think that's an illegal block or typically an offensive foul. And we're going to have holding on the offense. So that's going to back them up 10.
So 16-yard gain will be taken away, and it'll now be 2nd down and 20 as South Columbus will have the ball on – they'll be back on their side of the field, and it'll be on their own 48-yard line. So we'll redo first, and it'll be 1st and 20. 1 minute and 44 seconds before halftime. South Columbus leads East Columbus by a score of 52-18. Hammond goes back to the gun. Hands off to Frank. Frank's going to the far right, over the 50, and he will be brought down at the 47-yard line. So a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down and 15 as the clock ticks on under a minute and a half here in the first half. South Columbus really in no hurry to get these plays off, but now they're set. Hammond still stays in the gun. Takes the snap. He's going to drop back. He's looking to pass. Out wide open is number 4, Khalil Souls. Shakes 2 defenders, and he will be brought down at the 29-yard line. So a gain of 19 yards on the play. And it'll be 1st down and 10. Well, actually, that one maybe made it all the way down to about the 28. So that one would be good for right at 20. Hammonds takes the snap. Looks, he's going to throw out to his right, but some miscommunication there on that one as East Columbus took a dive for the incomplete pass, trying to intercept it, but come up a little bit short, and it'll be 2nd and 10. Let me have my markers wrong. He might be at the 22.
The markers haven't had much time to stay in one place tonight.
We got a penalty. I don't know if they've picked it up.
We have 70 points in one half.
We do.
Unbelievable. And we're not finished.
No, we're not. Well, that took the ball. Did that move it back 10 yards?
Yeah.
All right.
So it's 1st, and we'll call it 17.
So that's going to be a
It's a draw.
handoff. No.
Draw
I've
right up
lost
the
it.
middle.
And right up the middle it goes, and all the way to the end zone is Deshaun Daniels.
Wow,
And
that was a classic draw where the quarterback looks like he's going to be dropping back, and he tucks it into the running back, kind of underneath his shoulder, through his arms, and that's a score.
Romeo Rouse is a little shaken up. He was limping a little while earlier on the sideline, and I don't know if he got a muscle bothering him or an ankle, or it might just be some cramps, but they're going to help him. He's walking off on his own, but he's going to come over and walk some of that out. 32.6 seconds here in the second quarter. 58-18. South Columbus leads East Columbus. They're going to go for an extra point, and that one looked.
It's no good to me, but
South
they
signal
don't
good,
know.
and I have not. There we go.
There we go. It's good.
59-18, 32.6 seconds.
I think the officials didn't quite know what happened there. It
I-
came out about 10.5 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
And I think it just snuck over.
So I didn't think it did, but I saw South signal, and it was good, so I assume maybe. 8 possessions, 8 touchdowns. That's pretty impressive. So we will see where that can go in the third quarter. 32.6 seconds left. East will get the ball when halftime ends. I would say this kickoff here will determine what East tries to do. If they don't pick up a lot of yards here, I'd say they'll let the clock run out and be happy to touch it to begin the third quarter here. So Dixon has teed it up on the 40. He's going to step back, get everybody lined up. McClure will be back on his. He's right now standing on his 5, and Dixon's going to kick that one back to McClure, and that one's going to roll in the end zone.
That's the second touchback we've
It
seen
is.
tonight.
So East will have it on the their own 20 with 32.6 seconds here in the in the first half, second quarter, and let's see what they choose to do here. If they just run a play and run the clock out, or if they've only used one timeout that I can remember. So here we go. The play is in, and Howard
They've got trips left, Rod, and that isn't exactly victory formation.
No, that's not.
Why not? Hey, hang one out there. And I tell you what, they got Gresham on the backside, and you always forget the guy on the backside. So I'd fake it over here to the trip side, and then, or just throw it over there. That's good too.
And that one's to Dumas, and that's good for 7-8.
Number 3, Devin Dumas on the carry.
So the clock is still running as it's at 20 seconds here. They did not call timeout. I don't know if they're going to try one more or not. Down to 15 seconds. 10
Looks like
seconds.
we're going to try it here.
Here we go. But we're 5 seconds. This one better go quickly. And it is snapped and good. Dumas or Howard back to throw, and that one will be picked off by number 6. Here we go.
There's a lateral back.
Oh. Let me see if I can walk you back through that one.
Okay, you're gonna need a little help on this one, Ron.
Number 6, Javante. Let me get this right. Number 6, Jeffrey Daniels picks off Ryan Howard, takes it back 10 yards,
and
gets hammered by number 57, Tavon Pierce. Don't know who picked it up, but they ran it 10.
Picked it up,
and
he was getting tackled. Of course, no time on the clock, so he has the presence of mind to
lateral
back. And I think at that point it became a hot potato, and it was on the ground. So
that was interesting.
That was exciting.
Halftime is here.
Shades of the California-Stanford game.
There you
from
go.
1982. We were about 12 laterals short, but it was exciting there for a second.
So 24 minutes. Half this game is in the books here. Halftime has started to roll, and it is now 59-18. South Columbus leads East Columbus. And Mr. Jones, I believe you've got a
little presentation
interview for us.
Yeah. So I was out at the Waccamaw Siouan powwow today. It's school day, and of course, 1,000 kids out there learning about the culture of the Waccamaw Siouan, and it was just it's a really special day. A really special day for, of course, the Waccamaw Siouan people, but also for those kids and for the adults too, to see the culture and see the history that really is a very important part of Columbus County. So I sat down with a couple of people, and we talked a little bit about what's going to be happening this weekend and about the importance of the powwow. So we have that interview here, and we're going to run that here for you starting now. Hi folks, Kelly Jones from WZCO, and I had a great day today at the Waccamaw Siouan Powwow School Day, and had a few great conversations with folks out there and wanted to share them with you. First up is Preacher Mike. And I'm here with Michael Jacobs at the Waccamaw Siouan Powwow School Day. And Michael, thanks for taking just a moment to talk with me. Tell us about what's going on here as far as your part in the powwow and school day.
It's an honor and privilege to have you. We're glad you could make it. What we do is on school day, we share our culture through story. We take time to try to encourage our young people around about us, all races, with some of the problems with drugs and different things, gang violence and all. We use our Native American culture to reach out to them because, when the Creator made us, He did make us keepers of the land, and we believe that spirit is important today more than ever.
And I think everybody calls you Preacher Mike, is that right?
That's right, Preacher Mike.
I'm going to call you Preacher Mike if that's okay.
That's fine.
Preacher Mike, tell me, why is it important for everyone, and not just those that are people of the Waccamaw Siouan, but why is it important for everyone to come here today and tomorrow? And of course, we have the powwow is actually happening tomorrow, and we encourage. All right, folks, and we apologize for that, having some technical difficulties. It might be the rain. On us here. We'll try to get that for you again in just a second. I think we had it on our internet stream, but not on the radio, so just need to look over that a little bit. But what do you think about the first half of football there, Rod? So you got 59-18. That's like at least 70 points, right?
Yeah, that's.
So what do you think about the game so far?
Well, and we've watched. I think this is our fourth. This is our third or fourth game with South, and it's not uncommon for them to run consecutive scores. But we've not yet seen them touch the ball 8 times and put the ball in the end zone 8 times. If you watch enough football, you'll know special teams is really the make it or break it point. And tonight, special teams has been big, and you made a reference earlier. not necessarily, the big runs were not always maybe, special moves as just coverage fell apart. But when you touch the balls out of 8 possessions, South Columbus had the ball 6 times on East Columbus side of the field. You take a team that's that powerful in offense, you can't give them 50 yards or less to the end zone and not expect them to really hurt you. And they have been, they've taken it to the bank every time.
Yeah, and really having a difficult time finding an answer to Deshaun Daniels just right up the middle. Got another half of football to play. And we are going to give this interview one more shot, folks. Sorry, this is kind of new and exciting for us, so we will try to get this on here for you. Once again, this is at the Waccamaw-Suwan Powwow we were at today, so let's give it a listen. Hi, folks. Kelly Jones from WZCO. And I had a great day today at the Waccamaw-Suwan Powwow School Day. And had a few great conversations with folks out there and wanted to share them with you. First up is Preacher Mike. And I'm here with Michael Jacobs at the Waccamaw-Suwan Powwow School Day. And Michael, thanks for taking just a moment to talk with me. Tell us about what's going on here as far as your part in the powwow and school day.
It's an honor and privilege to have you. We're glad you could make it. What we do is on school day, we share our culture through story. We take time to try to encourage our young people around about us, all races, with some of the problems with drugs and different things, gang violence and all. We use our Native American culture to reach out to them because, when the Creator made us, He did make us keepers of the land, and we believe that spirit is important today more than ever.
And I think everybody calls you Preacher Mike, is that right?
That's right, Preacher Mike.
I'm going to call you Preacher Mike if that's okay.
That's fine.
Preacher Mike, tell me, why is it important for everyone, and not just those that are people of the Waccamaw-Suwan, why is it important for everyone to come here today and tomorrow? And of course, we have the powwow is actually happening tomorrow. We encourage the public to come. But why is it important for them to come here? Why should they come here?
It's very important, and the greatest thing of all is until we learn to appreciate one another's differences, that's the only time can we truly embrace one another the way we should as true brothers and sisters. There's only one earth, and we're all living here together.
What does the theme of this year's powwow, We're Still Here, what does that say to you?
It says to me that there's hope, even in this land today with everything that's going on economically and everything that's going on otherwise, that we as Native people, we still have hope. We still have the ability to celebrate who we are and add what we can to the mix of America.
And when you think about Columbus County and the richness that the Waccamaw-Suwan bring to this area, it's so important that we recognize it, and of course, during the powwow, but all throughout the year, that any place you go in this country, people know who the Waccamaw-Suwan people are and their strength. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's something everyone's proud of. Mm-hmm. What would someone see if they come to the powwow tomorrow? What is something that they might see that they wouldn't expect?
The first thing you're going to do is you're going to smell. Time you pull up on the grounds, you're going to smell some good food, and there's going to be some native foods, and then there's going to be a lot of good foods that are native to our people that's going to be cooked.
What is some of that food that would be native to your people?
You're going to have fried bread's going to be cooked. I believe some of our ladies will probably be doing the collard sandwiches will be cooked.
Collard sandwich.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
Yeah, and there's just so many other things that's going to be going on.
And what sort of cultural things, if we come here, that someone might be surprised to see if they come to the powwow tomorrow?
You're probably going to be surprised if you come to see so many people, different tribes really getting together. That's what it's all about. It's a big homecoming. And tomorrow there's going to be some traditional dances, and intertribal is really what blesses my heart when we see all the tribes come together in one place and celebrate one another together.
So it will not just be the Waccamaw-Suwan.
Oh, no.
What other groups would be here?
There'll be the 8 tribes in North Carolina. You have the Hollawa. You'll have some of the Meherrin people will be down with us. Lumbee. You'll have some Cherokees with us. There's people coming all out of Florida, all over the place. There's
wow.
At any powwow, it's a big homecoming.
Wow,
Yeah.
that really sounds great. So I really appreciate your time, Preacher Mike. And as someone I can say from the school system, we appreciate school day. And I'm guessing there's close to 1,000 children here today
Probably so.
on the grounds. And I can't think of a better place for them to be today.
That's right.
Learning about the culture that's, for some of them, just right down the road and is such an important part of Columbus County.
And I would like to say this, anytime you can step out the textbook and walk into reality, it's always a better class.
That's exactly right. And we preach that in our school system, that it's not about the books, it's about that real life experience. So,
That's right.
Preacher Mike, thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate you.
Next, I sat in on a class taught by Brittany Simmons about the tradition of drumming.
Lovely. My name is Brittany Simmons. I'm Waccamaw Siouan. I'm from right here. I grew up here all my life. Went to Hallsboro. Artesia is back when it was just Hallsboro. Long time ago. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about drumming and singing and drumming. Before we actually get started, we're going to do some very fancy math. You ready? It's called geometry. I'm going to get you ready for high school already. Okay? We're going to do some geometry. What shape is this? Beautiful. All of our drums are actually in a circle. And circle is very important to us because when you look, where does the circle start? Which corner does it have? Doesn't have any corners. It's all straight lines, and it's just one big line. It's not even a straight line. Thank you very much. So this is a very important shape for us. And where we get the drum from is a long time ago, there were three nations who were fighting. We had the Siouan Nation, the Algonquin Nation, and the Iroquois Nation. And the men were all fighting, and the women said, we can't have this because no one's here fixing us some meat. We got to have some meat. No one's here building new houses. We got to have these houses built up because we lived in longhouses. We didn't live in teepees. That's actually a little bit further west. We actually lived in houses. If you look at our tribal building, that's the shape of what one of our houses would have looked like. So we actually had real houses and had real farms, and we didn't do that the riding on the horses till much later. But during that time, while the men were all fighting, the women said, we need to get together. So what did? They got together and prayed. And that's what we did. So we got together and we prayed, and the women prayed together, and come to find out, they saw this little turtle in the river. And that little turtle came swimming up, and on the back of its shell was a little tiny drum, much smaller than this. Little tiny water drum. And with the water drum, the Creator said, as long as you play it, the war will cease, and you'll have fun and good times. And so the water drum's a much more social drum. This is a social drum. This big thing here that you see is actually called a powwow drum or a war drum. So just the men play this drum. Women can play these drums or the smaller drums, but just the men play the big warrior drum because traditionally there are warriors. And I'm going to have them, when they're ready, got another bite? I'm going to have them actually sing a song for us. I want you to listen. And because I'm going to ask you some questions about it, okay? So I want you to really listen to what they're singing. So give them a round of applause. You think they did a good job.
And the 43rd annual Waccamaw Siouan Powwow will be held October 19th, and there'll be activities really all day Saturday from noon or 1 o'clock on. Admission is $8 for 5 years and older, and it will be rain or shine. So we really encourage you to go out to the Waccamaw Siouan Tribal Grounds located in the Buckhead community off of Old Lake Road on Saturday, October 19th. And you're going to see some incredible performances, lots of culture, and like you've heard, some great food.
Hopefully you enjoyed that. We're just about a minute and a half before the third quarter will kick in. Today was the school day out at the powwow, and tomorrow will be I guess you could say they're official. Well, that's not the way to put it, but
Yeah, the parade, they'll have the
Yeah.
parade, and of course the public can come out. And you know what sounded to me like the best? The collard sandwich. I've never had a collard sandwich, but
no, neither.
I'm big on collards and big on sandwiches, so it's got to be a good thing. So go out to the powwow tomorrow and get a collard sandwich.
And I think you were telling me several of the kids from Columbus County Schools will also be performing at the fair tomorrow.
We do have a big performance starting at right around 4:30 to 4:45. There on the main stage at the fairgrounds, and we are really excited. I think we have 5 groups performing, and it's going to be it's one of our favorite things we do because I tell you, everybody goes to the fair, so you have a great crowd there, and of course our students do a great job, and our teachers do a great job preparing them. So I'm excited about that tomorrow, and we'll have 4 choral groups. We'll have groups from Williams Township, Nakina. We'll have groups from South Columbus, West Columbus, as well as Tabor City Middle and Chadbourn Middle.
right.
We'll have the dance team from South Columbus. So all that is from
Wow.
4:30 roughly to 6 o'clock there on the main stage at the fairgrounds. So, hey, guys, come on out to the fair, and you can see all those great performances from school groups.
So we have just hit 0 on the clock here and they'll set the 12 minutes for the third quarter. South Columbus is out of the locker room, and special teams is already out on the field. East Columbus is out of the locker room, and they're still huddled up in the end zone. Changes both teams need to make is definitely special teams. The defense on each special team needs to tighten it up a little bit.
How about them Gators?
And it is what it is.
Well, it's 59-18, I guess, is the thing. You're behind, you're behind 41 points, and so what you do is you stay in there. If you're East Columbus, you stay in there. You play good football. You get better every play, and you don't really look at the scoreboard any more than is absolutely necessary. And that's again, we talk about wins and losses here. We talk about touchdowns, but in the grand scheme of things, these young men are out here to do something, even more important than football, and that's to learn discipline and learn how to be part of a team. So, that's what you focus on. And, I was fortunate enough to have coaches when I was playing football, and I was in these similar situations. And, it's a learning experience. Anybody can win. That's easy to do. What do you do when you're getting beaten? How
Right.
do you respond? So, it's a good moment here for this East Columbus team to come back and make a good showing in the second half.
So here's the kick. Dixon will put that one back deep. It'll go all the way back to the 11. Nick McClure has it, and he's got a full head of steam as he's at the 30, 35, still on his feet at the 40, and goes down at the about 41-yard line. So 31-yard return on the kickoff. And East Columbus will start off there with 11 minutes and 40 seconds here in the third quarter. They will have the first possession. If you've just tuned in, this is 89.9 FM WZCO. And if you're watching us over the internet, you're at www.wzco.org. All right, so Howard takes the snap, hands off to McClure. McClure goes left side, and the ball is loose. And we've got a big pile in there.
Looks like South Columbus, they've got it. South Columbus ball.
And South Columbus ball. Big hit on Nick McClure, and that ball must have went at least 8 or 9 foot up in the air.
I've never seen a football go that high off of a hit, and that wasn't a bounce or anything. That was just a helmet, it looked like.
Yeah, somebody put their helmet right on that ball, and up it went. So South Columbus offense comes back to the field, and they will have it on the East Columbus 30, we'll call it the 36-yard line. And here we go. So South Columbus we will see Hammond go up under center, and he's going to hand that
Oh.
one off to
And the blitzing linebacker almost took that
Rashad
ball.
Chapman,
and
and
there's
Chapman
getting loose.
And Chapman is all the way down to the 16-yard line, so a gain of 18. And, yeah, I thought that was amazing. That linebacker I thought was going to take the handoff. And that's football because you go from what looked to be a huge loss to an 18-yard
Huge gain. Yeah. Hey, Fairmont 40, Red Springs 0. Almost halftime.
Any more update on Whiteville and West Columbus?
Not since 28-0.
All right, so Hammond up under center is waiting for the ball. Now he comes back under center. Changes
Looks like
a
East
little
Columbus
bit.
is trying to blitz here. They bring two backers, and looks like Chapman splits right in between them, and he is going to be in.
18-yard
Number 7, Rashid Chatham.
or 16-yard up the middle run by number 7 Rashad Chapman, and that one will be good for 6. And the score will be 65-18, South Columbus over East Columbus here at Lake Waccamaw, North Carolina. And we will see, more than likely see Samuel Dixon come for an extra point. I think that's Dixon is getting the last-minute instructions. It looks like Hammond's down, getting ready to hold, so they'll get ready here. Hammond will get him set, and he will call for the snap. Snap is high, and it's. I don't think I've ever seen that before either.
Yes, so the snap was a little high, bounced right to the kicker, Dixon, and he tried to make it right off tackle and could not. So PAT is no good.
No, and he come close, though.
He sure did. And we've seen a lot of interesting plays tonight.
You couldn't set a fake up that would have been better
No,
than that one. But Dixon caught it right on the run. And it is so it'll stay 65-18 here. 8 minutes and 20 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. East Columbus will await the kickoff from Samuel Dixon Jr.
Yep, Garo Upremian would have been very jealous of that particular play. For those of you that remember that Super Bowl, I think it was Super Bowl III,
Yeah, I didn't quite make that one.
where the Redskins beat the Dolphins. No, the Dolphins beat the Redskins, excuse me. And Upremian, it was a bad snap, and he picked it up and tried to throw it, and it landed right into a defender of Washington. They took it back all the way for a touchdown. But I'm older than you, so I understand that you don't remember that. New Hanover 10, Laney 0, second quarter.
So here we go. Dixon kicks off, and that'll be a down the middle, fielded around the 7 or 8, and McClure will be met right about the 28.
He is hard to bring down.
He is hard to bring down. So that'll be 20. That'll be good for 20 yards, and East Columbus will start on their own 27-yard line. First and 10, 7 minutes and 8 seconds here in the third quarter. They trail South Columbus by a score of 65-18.
First and 10, Gators.
So let's see what happens here. Howard's been in the option all night, so he will definitely stay there. McClure will set up directly to his left. And we will await the snap, and there it is. And he fakes that throw, going to throw it over the middle, and almost, it was intended for Nick McClure, and it was almost picked off there by, looks like Deshaun Daniels. Might have. So here we go, second and 10 from the 27-yard line. Howard gets the call in from the bench. This time he'll have Terry Brown beside him. Nick McClure goes out for a rest. Ball snapped. Sweep there to Dumas. And Dumas is going to be caught at the line of scrimmage, and down he's going to go. So we're going to be looking at third, and he may lose a yard on it. But we'll call it third and 10 here with 5 minutes and 45 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. South leads 65-18 over East Columbus. So here we go. Dumas gets the call from Coach Haney. Terry Brown stays in. Still have now Gresham's alone on the right-hand side. And we got Twins over on the left. Snap drops back. And Howard's going long to
Uncorks
Gresham.
one.
And comes back and picked off by number, before I say number 3. Let me get a spot on that one. Yep, it is number 3. Samuel Dixon Jr.
Yeah, there was a wrestling match for that one, and South Columbus won it.
Gresham come back to it and tried to come back around, but could not get the ball away from number 3, Samuel Dixon Jr., and South Columbus will take over on the 50-yard line.
Yeah, it's so hard to throw a deep ball in this wet weather. And, you know, they do a good job of keeping the surface of the balls dry.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is they actually absorb moisture, and so they do become noticeably heavier, you know, even during the process of the game. And it gets a lot harder to throw that 20, 30-yard deep pass.
There's a handoff up the middle. I believe Deshaun Daniels got it, and that pile's still moving. And nope, that was not Daniels. That was number 31, Carlos McClure.
McClure getting some action tonight.
And he'll get 5 on that one, and it'll be 2nd and 5 from the 45-yard line of East Columbus with 4 minutes and 7 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. So Hammonds has the play, and he sends his men to the line as he will go back under center. 2-back set, takes the snap, and that one's going to be handed off to number 4, Khalil Souls. Souls turns it outside and gets it over the 40 to the 38-yard line. And that one will be good for 7, and that'll move the chains. 1st and 10, 3 minutes and 35 seconds left here in the third quarter. South leads 65-18. And Hammonds will get them ready again. As the play comes. Nope. They've switched quarterbacks on me. Number 12, Chase Gore's in now.
Just want to make sure you're paying attention.
Yeah, and that one's handed off to.
Jet sweep.
That one's number.
I think that's Jeffrey Daniels, it looks like.
It is.
Yeah.
And he's going to get the ball all the way up to the 20-yard line. And that'll move the chains.
Last report we had was 28-0 Whiteville at the half. Still looking for an update, and I'm sure we'll be getting one here in just a second. So South Columbus driving, trying to break the 70 mark.
Now we've got Gore up under center. He's going to hand it off, and it's going to go up the middle and all the way down. Look like McClure again, and that one's going to go all the way down to the 5-yard line.
And so, you know, thus far this season, South Columbus did score 65 in a win over South Brunswick. So they score here, that would eclipse their highest point total of the season.
So they've got all the way down to the 7-yard line right now. Gore goes up under center, and he hands that one off to number 4, Khalil Souls. Souls goes far right, dives for the goal line.
And don't see a signal yet,
Have
but
not
I think
seen.
he's close.
Is that a touchdown?
Everybody's changing. We still have not seen any.
Well, yeah, the referee signaled, but he was turned. They usually look over to one side, but he
Gotcha.
was standing completely.
Okay, so I saw him from the side. I thought he had a question, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've never seen one signal to the goalpost. And all right, so that one is. It
Frank
is
for
now
the extra point now to make it 72.
70. Let's see where this one goes. That one snap is down.
And that is that one.
Yep, good.
Yeah, that went over by about 6 inches the crossbar. So 72-18. That makes it an even 90 points between the two teams.
And we are down to under 45 seconds remaining here in the third quarter as time is ticking off. May see the kick off? May not before we go into the fourth quarter. I would say we will wait till the beginning of the fourth quarter to see kickoff goes, and here comes McClure out. So here we go. Down to 20 seconds. Don't think, well,
Gonna be close.
I think if I'm going to go set up on this side, I'm going to kick that ball, but time may be different. They're going to try to get it off, but they better hurry, or they're going to be switching sides here. They ain't going to get it off.
Nope. So here we go to the fourth quarter, Rod. 72 South Columbus, East Columbus 18.
And we have seen, are they 9 for 9 or 10 for 10?
That's a good question.
I think they're 10 for 10.
I think they're 10 for 10.
Because they got the turnover and they scored on. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and if you're just joining us, South Columbus got out of the gate quick, but so did East Columbus. East Columbus actually, at one point, had South Columbus tied, and then it was 14-12 with a few minutes left. A few minutes gone in the first quarter, and then South Columbus kind of took over, especially on special teams, and you wake up and it's 72-18. So
the fourth quarter getting ready to kick off here. 3 of the 4 are in the books, and we will get ready to start the fourth one here. And I don't think I've ever watched a game where a team never turned it over and never punted, and they put points on the board every drive.
Yep. Well, South Columbus they are running on all cylinders. I think the interesting thing will be to see if St. Paul's can hang with them next week. And, of course, what everybody's talking about is if things kind of hold true, you've got a big showdown, Whiteville and South Columbus, for most likely be the conference championship.
That could, 3 weeks from today, could be a really, really interesting ball game. So the clock is running, and here comes Dixon, and he's going to put that one down, and I think that one may roll out before it gets to the end zone.
Yep.
So East Columbus will take over on their own 35-yard line. We're in the fourth quarter. If you're joining us on the radio, it's 89.9 FM WZCO. And if you're watching us live on the internet, WZCO.org. We appreciate you joining us tonight. It's been some ugly weather.
Yeah, we basically, this is the first time I can remember that we set up in the rain. I mean, just pure rain. And we went with one camera tonight. A little short-handed on help. I think a lot of the students, really thought the game was going to be canceled, as did we.
Yeah.
And but Jonathan's doing an excellent job upstairs on the one camera, and we'll be back at full steam next week.
All right, so Howard awaits the snap, takes it low, but hands it to McClure. McClure's going to
get
the
outside,
left.
and
there he goes.
Running over people.
And that's good for 9 yards on the play there. Maybe I can talk my boss into some hazard pay for today.
And, of course, the illustrious Mr. Nicky Hobbs is with us tonight, making sure we're behaving.
There you go.
Which you need a supervisor to make sure we're
That's
behaving.
right. 9-yard gain on the play. 10 minutes and 25 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. East Columbus has the ball on their own 44-yard line. 2nd and 1.
We get a break here. Maybe we can talk a little about the field trips this week from CCCA.
There we go. Howard hands off to, that one's Terry Brown, and Terry's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
So CCCA had basically some work days this week where the students had an opportunity to take some trips. What do you think the most interesting trip would have been? Where would you have gone if you'd had the opportunity?
I went down to WonderWorks and tried. I've never been down there at Myrtle Beach, but they went down. Their options today was WonderWorks and the State Fair.
Okay.
So they did that. Yesterday we did college visits, NC State, ECU, and then a combined trip of Fayetteville State and UNC Pembroke. So, all right. So here we go. 1st and 10. Howard
Direct
keeps
snap.
himself and gets the corner turned. But he'll be taken out right at the 50. So that one's good for. That should be good for 4.
And those college visits are so important. And I would tell any parent, if you have a 1-year-old or you have an 18-year-old, if you're going through a town where there's a school, just drive through. Get out, walk around a little bit, because it really, I think, starts those students thinking about, what the possibilities are.
So here we go, 2nd down and 6. Howard still in the gun, and Nick McClure to his left, and McClure gets it, and he will take it up to, I think they'll stop his progress right about the 46-yard line, so that'll be good for 4.
Do you ever really stop Nick McClure's progress? You just kind of get to a stopping point and say, okay, we're gonna stop it here, y'all, so we can go on. But he is really hard to take down.
Well, when the pile's only moving in inches instead of feet, they'll blow the whistle.
We're getting close to the time where some of these seniors will be making decisions about college football, so that will be interesting to see too.
So here we go. We've got 3rd down and a long 2, and that one is Dumas, and he's going to be met close to the. I think forward progress took him over the line of scrimmage. Let's see where they spot the ball, and I think they're already moving. Yep. So first down.
Gators putting together a nice little drive here, closing out the game strong.
Brings the ball to the 42-yard line.
So they have the ball on South Columbus's 42. It's 1st and 10. They trail 72-18, and there's 7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the 4th quarter. Ryan Howard still in at quarterback, and Nick McClure sets up to his right. Howard takes the snap, hands it to McClure, and McClure is pushing people out of his way as he gets down to the 42-yard line. So that one's good for 3. Actually, he's down to 41. So, 3-yard gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 7. Under 7 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter. East Columbus trailing 72-18 over South Columbus. Howard gets the play, gets everybody set. He's going to send everybody but McClure, and no, that won't be McClure. That's number 42.
Jamal Baldwin.
Yep, and he will pick up 1 on the play. So 3rd and 7 coming up here. 6 minutes and 23 seconds left in the 4th quarter. South leads. But East is driving, which could lead to be their last possession of the game.
West Bladen over Pender, 48-0. And the East Bladen opens up 35-6 over
Big
Trask.
pass by Howard to Gresham, and Gresham loses a step. Dixon cuts in, but the ball pops free down around the 7-yard line. So, no, that wasn't Gresham. That was
Tyshawn Scott, number 99.
So a big pass play there by Howard to Scott, but falls incomplete, and that's going to bring us up to 4th and 7. So East Columbus will go for it on the 40-yard line of South Columbus. Howard has the play, takes the snaps, going to drop back to throw. There's another one to Scott, and that one sails into the hands of Dixon and out of the hands, and the ball will be turned over on downs to South Columbus, and they will start on their own 40 with 5 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter. South Columbus leads East Columbus by a score of 72-18.
Whiteville over West Columbus, 34-0. That's the end of third. Into the third. St. Paul's with a 21-14 lead over South Robinson. So tight game there, and of course St. Paul's really needs to stay on track to have a shot at winning the championship there at the conference.
Now, with this year being a 1A and 2A, will they have 2 separate winners come out, or is there just one winner?
Well, there'll be one winner, but it's all, relative to playoffs.
Okay. All right. So Gore's going to pitch that one to, I believe that's McClure again, and it'll ball go up to the 50. Yeah, Carlos McClure, and that one's good for 11. So that'll move the chains on first down. Clock running here at 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We will let both sides get set here as South gets the play put in. That wet field, I think, starting to take an effect on a few of these guys tonight.
Just grinds it down, gets slick.
So here comes number 63, Santonio Godwin. He's trying to walk out of cramp.
East Columbus next week, they will play Red Springs at Red Springs. And, of course, Red Springs losing tonight to Fairmont, 40-0 last score we had, and winless on the season. So,
and McClure will get, Carlos McClure will get that one, and he will take it up to the 44. So that'll be good for 5 yards. Clock running down to 3 minutes here. We're in the fourth quarter. The plays being brought in from the sideline. Time's a ticking away. So here comes number 12, Chase Gore, with a play. As he comes in to get his men set. South has the ball on the 44-yard line of East Columbus. Second down in about 5. And that's going to be a handoff again to Carlos McClure. McClure gets through the pack, and he will take it up all the way to the 33-yard line of East Columbus. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. South leads East. So if you hadn't been with us, next week we will take a journey out to South Columbus to watch South Columbus and St. Paul's play, and
that's going to be a good game.
I believe that will be. Under 2 minutes left here. Gore has the play, hands it off to McClure. McClure goes up the middle, and he will take it down to the 28-yard line. And got time for a couple of more plays, and I believe the clock will be running out here shortly.
So.
Down to a minute and a half. The South is in no hurry to run their plays, but still moving them. Here you are in the fourth quarter, you're still moving the ball fairly successful, and a lot of yards of total between special teams, and had a lot of yardage for South Columbus tonight, and a lot for East Columbus. All right, Gore takes the snap, and he's going to kneel it out. So this one's now just a technicality here with just under a minute left in the fourth quarter. We've seen the victory formation set up by South Columbus, and they should have to only snap the ball one more time as we're under a minute, and this one will be in the record books. So week 9 getting ready to come to an end here in football season. 3 more weeks left before the playoffs start, and it's been a good year. Love this time of year, and hate to see football season come to an end. Another knee with 29 seconds left here, and they should only have to, they're not even going to have to snap one more time. The clock will continue to run as South goes to their side, East comes to their side, and it's just now a matter of officially putting it in the book.
All right, so you lose 72-18, and you got a game next week, Red Springs. You got to come back for, and I think that they'll be competitive. I mean, they have a talented football team, and I think next week you'll see a good effort by the Gators, and like I say, the first quarter to quarter and a half played great. So you can't really complain about the effort. South Columbus just has a lot of weapons.
They do.
I think what will be interesting to see is how far they go into postseason. Now is because you have to start thinking about that now. With at this point 3 games left in the season, how will things shape up, and does your team do all the small things well enough to go deep into the playoffs? Because it does become, after this, as you go into the playoffs, becomes about doing the little things right. And it's the team that does the little things right, like kickoff coverage, like snaps on punts. Those teams tend to excel in the playoffs because everyone's so evenly matched.
Right.
So, final from here, Gator Field, South Columbus 72, East Columbus 18. Any parting thoughts there, Rod?
3 weeks left. Some of these teams, South Columbus, Whiteville, even St. Paul's in that, you've got 3 weeks, as you said, to really tune some things in because what you're playing for starts on November the 15th.
Yep.
And it's not to take any – these are important games, but that's the big deal. It's how far can you go
Right.
in those 5 games, and now's the time you got to make it happen.
And we've looked at some of the potential brackets, and East Columbus could very well be in the playoffs. And once you get to that point, hey, all bets are off.
Right.
It's a brand new season. So, well, Rod, once again, enjoyed tonight. It was, I'd like to say the setup was fun.
Yeah.
But I'll probably be drying out my clothes for the next 3 or 4 days. But certainly appreciate you coming out and helping us get set up and all that you do. And thanks to Mr. Nicky Hobbs and to our student Jonathan's last name?
Jonathan Smith.
Jonathan Smith, for coming out tonight, our lone student who braved the weather and all the rumors of cancellation, which were completely unfounded. But appreciate him coming out tonight and giving us a good look at the game. So we'll be at Civitan Stadium, South Columbus and St. Paul's, which St. Paul's looks like they're going to be going to a victory. They're over right now. It's a close game in South Robinson, but they are in command, at least at this point. So they'll have a tremendous amount on the line next week when they take on the Stallions. And we've seen St. Paul's in the past. We know they're going to be extremely well coached, extremely well prepared. And I think next week should be an excellent game and an excellent test here as you're going towards the what is, I guess, the finale against Whiteville.
Right.
So for Kelly Jones and Columbus County Schools and Columbus Career and College Academy, we're going to sign off here, turn you back to our mix of 50s tunes. Rod, thank you so much for your help tonight, and we will see everyone, and you'll hear us or see our footage next week as we are at South Columbus. Everyone go out to the Waccamaw Siouan powwow tomorrow. It's going to be a great time.